Hello and welcome to this week's Winner podcast. I'm Rebecca Perez Taylor and today I'm joined by
Alexia,
Charlotte Pashley,
and Jade Edwards-Lowe.
This week we have some really interesting stories and I thought we could start off with you, Alexia. Tell us a bit about your story.
Oh yes, absolutely. Well, in this week's story, I attended one of the most colorful festivals in the world, known as Holi. It was actually organized for the first time in Southampton by the Hampshire Indian community. It was amazing. The festival is not just about throwing colors, contrary to popular belief. There's actually a rich history and deep cultural significance, and it has an important message.
What exactly is the significance of Holi for Hindus?
Well, this festival marks the arrival of spring and is celebrated on the full day of the Hindu month of Falguna, which falls between late February and mid-March. In India, for example, this year is celebrated on the 14th of March, but here in Southampton it was celebrated on the 9th. It's one of the most widely observed festivals in India and has been celebrated for centuries. In many parts of India, Holi begins with the lighting of bonfires on the night before the festival, known as Holika Dahan, kind of like bonfire night here in the UK. This tradition is meant to symbolize the burning away of negativity and the triumph of righteousness. And then, of course, comes the most famous part, the throwing of colors, where people dance, eat together, celebrate, sing.
Where else is Holi in the world celebrated?
Well, Holi isn't just celebrated in India. It was celebrated here in Southampton too. The festival has spread to many countries, including Nepal, the United States, Canada, the UK, Australia, and even parts of the Caribbean. For example, in the UK, it has become a symbol of multiculturalism, with celebrations happening in London, Birmingham, Leicester, and most recently in Southampton. These festivals bring together people of all backgrounds, not just of Indian descent. They usually include music, Bollywood performances, and of course the famous color throws. They also have a thing called color bombs where they light up. It's kind of like a firework. They light it up and you see a lot of colored smoke coming from the other side of the little firework.
Oh, yeah.
It's really fun.
I know exactly what
One of the most beautiful aspects of Holi is how it breaks down social barriers. And traditionally, it's a day when people forget differences like social status, religion, anything, and they just play together. And in today's world, I feel like where everything is kind of uncertain, there's a lot of tensions, you never really know what's going to happen. Festivals like Holi are a reminder of the importance of inclusivity and joy. Because life is about coming together, celebrating life, embracing our differences.
So, what do you think makes Holi such a powerful festival in terms of uniting people?
Well, simple. Like I said, bringing communities together, children of all backgrounds playing together, people literally playing tag. I've seen them at the festival. They were literally adults playing tag, chasing each other with colors, dancing together. I've had strangers ask me to dance, which has never happened before. People taking pictures with each other, filming each other. Everybody was I had so much fun. And again, this idea of bringing everybody together, and I think it's a brilliant way to spend time with your family and with your friends. I got to spend time with my parents, which I haven't really done that much this past few years, so it was absolutely amazing. And if you've ever attended a Holi celebration, let us know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys thought of the celebration and how you found it. For me, it was definitely something I've never experienced before, and I would recommend it to everybody. It was brilliant. I've got no other
definitely
word.
sounds really fun.
Yeah, it was really fun, absolutely.
Yeah, I would definitely like to go to something like that. But yeah, that was really interesting. Thank you, Alexia.
Thank you.
So our next story is Charlotte's story. Do you want
Yeah.
to tell us a bit about it?
So on Sunday, the 9th, at 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. was the Winchester's Makers Market, which the Nutshell hosted, which is in the centre of Winchester. They have held events like this before. I went to, what was it? The comic fair, I think it was, and the print fair as well. So they hold quite a lot of these kinds of events, and they have some really amazing artists and other kind of creatives. With the event itself, it was quite a range of different creators. It had chocolate, it had jewellery, it had art prints. You had people actually doing lino print at the event itself.
Wow.
So I watched this lady do it, and it was very intense. But it was beautiful. It was such a lovely day. I got to speak to some really nice people.
Yeah, it sounds like it was.
Yeah, it was really good. And I ended up getting a gift for my mum for Mother's Day and a card. It was a little bit expensive, but there was so much nice things and brilliant for gifts. I do really like supporting local artists as much as I can, and small independents, because I know how much work it can be,
Absolutely.
and how challenging it can be amongst so many chains as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was really nice to kind of see this event be free and for everyone to attend, just in general, because there has been recent research about the arts being very divided socially, with quite a lot of people from middle class and upper class backgrounds kind of getting into higher leadership roles.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see a free event where anyone from any background could attend, really.
That sounds really interesting. So, how exactly did you hear about the event? Was it advertised anywhere, or?
Yeah, so I follow The Nutshell on Instagram. They publish quite a lot of information about their events, as well as following quite a few of the artists themselves who went to previous events. So I saw them advertising about them coming to Winchester, and I thought, might as well make a story out of something that I personally really enjoy going to, and kind of let people know that these kind of events do happen in Winchester as well.
And could you tell us also a bit more about like the venue that was hosting it? Was it called The Nutshell, right?
Yeah, so The Nutshell used to be an antique market, which got renovated in like 2018 and opened by 2019, which is a bit unlucky because obviously with COVID and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So when they first started out, it was very difficult for them to kind of get their attention. So I think the Nutshell itself, I think it's still trying to grab the attention of locals, because some people don't know about it.
Yeah, I, for example, didn't know about it.
I had no idea about it either.
But it sounds really fun.
It is kind of a bit hidden, but it's near across from Primark and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Down the alleyway and stuff.
Yeah.
But they have their bigger event that's coming up on March 12th to the 22nd, is their show of Frankenstein. So they're doing a play on it, which I think is supposed to be very good, and they haven't done anything like that before, so I think it'd be really interesting. So yeah, it is a company an organisation that's female-led as well.
Yeah, that's nice.
By two local women collaborating with other local creatives in the area. So it's a really good organisation that's been created in Winchester.
Yeah, no, The Nutshell's really, really good. I've checked it out myself. Fantastic. I think it's really good how they've overcome barriers, such as lockdown. That's not the only issue surrounding the arts. Could you tell us a little bit more about the arts in general and the lack of funding, please, Charlotte?
Yeah, so the arts in general globally is highly underfunded, with research going into inequalities with money and class. There's been recent articles about how a lot of people aren't taking art and humanities in schools, which is quite concerning. So it's kind of led to those who are in private education to have that kind of opportunity in comparison to those who are working class. So it's kind of created a divide in who's getting those opportunities.
Yeah,
And that's why I did like this event as well, because there was no barriers.
exactly. Because
I mean,
art is about uniting people, right?
yeah,
Similar to
it should be
Holi.
it should be for everyone, and everyone should be able to experience it, view it, talk to artists,
yeah,
and
so
engage with it. Definitely.
and kind of like meet the artist and get to know what happens
Yeah.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, definitely.
If you can say it like
So yeah, it was a really great place for imagination and for young people and young generations to kind of get an idea and be inspired.
Jade, your story this week was an interesting one. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yes, so this week I covered how the number of stray cats across Hampshire is rising and honed in on Winchester's stray cat population. So I went out and filmed the majority of the cats featured in my reel in Stanmore, which won't come as a surprise to anyone that lives in the area.
No.
There are tons
Definitely
roaming
not.
around. But the issue with both stray and feral cats is that they spread diseases, can cause damage to property, and even attack people. In fact, I spoke to someone this week that described an incident that he witnessed here in Winchester, which involved his younger sister being permanently scarred across the face after she went to pet a
that's-
cat right in Stanmore.
Oh my god.
I
that's
have never heard
crazy.
of a cat doing
Do
that.
they
ever in
know
their life.
which cat it was, or not at all?
Identified ever as the cat?
Well,
Unfortunately, the only identification I've got is it was Ginger.
Oh,
yeah,
So,
makes sense.
that
I
makes
think we should
sense.
blame those.
Yeah.
I'm just asking that because I did get scratched by one a few days ago, which was surprising. So,
Yeah.
But you might want to go check yourself out for that because you might accidentally have caught a disease.
oh,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely scary. But like, I am curious. Like, what's the difference between a stray and a feral cat? You never know. I feel like these days.
Yeah, so a stray cat is a socialised domestic cat, meaning that they don't generally have an owner, but it also applies to cats that are missing. So often stray cats are spotted near houses or in people's gardens, generally trying to get into people's homes or scrounging for food. But feral cats are not as socialised. They don't like humans generally. They don't like domestic environments like their stray counterparts. And generally they're not as friendly. They generally are the most threatening types of cats that you'll see out and about. It may be really hard to spot as they're really good at hiding from people. But both feral and stray cats, even with permanently housed cats and pets, often spread diseases. So unless a cat is your own, you really should be cautious when approaching
That's
it.
so sad. As a cat lover, that.
yeah. What should you do if you spot a stray cat in Winchester?
Well, don't approach it is the first
Aw.
word of warning. Sorry,
Oh.
guys.
So sad.
I've done the opposite.
Yeah. Who
And I'm sure
hasn't?
you'll learn your lesson. But there is a number of things you are meant to do. So there's a lot of support available for cats here in Hampshire. So if you head over to the RSPCA website, you can either call their emergency line or submit a form to notify them about the whereabouts of a sighting. Additionally, you can reach out to your local cats protection organisation and see the cats through from treatment to rehabilitation and eventually helping them find their new home. However, if you find a cat that is sick or injured, the cat's protection suggests that you carefully approach it before picking it up and putting it straight into a cat basket. You can then take the feline to your nearest veterinary practice, and don't worry, you won't be out of pocket for your help. The vets provide emergency treatment and care for the sick or injured animals at no cost to the finder.
Oh, that's nice.
That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really nice.
definitely.
That makes me feel better about not petting cats.
Yeah, definitely.
I was gonna ask on the side with the amount of cats that are in Stanmore, how are they dealing with those numbers, or they're not really kind of people adopting them? Or?
See, that's the issue. Because a lot of people don't know the difference between stray, feral
Okay,
cats,
yeah.
or housed cats, it's very hard. A lot of people don't have their cats with a collar, which is generally recommended, especially if you're letting them out of the house.
Yeah.
But last year in April, it was made mandatory that all cats are microchipped.
Yeah.
So if you do see a cat that's injured or you think it's a stray, you should report it to the RSPCA or otherwise, and they should check for you. But currently, the council said nothing, so we'll have to wait and see on that one, Charlotte.
Jade, so when you told me about your story, I decided to have a look. Reliable organisation that should be used, or can you just use any of them? Because there's so many different ones in Winchester.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing.
Yeah.
There really is. So I would recommend again Cats Protection, which is specific to Winchester,
Oh, okay.
and RSPCA. However, on an interesting topic from that, there's also some places that you should consider if you're going to adopt a cat, which
Okay.
sometimes is stray,
Yeah.
which kind of goes hand in hand on where you should report them.
Yeah.
If you are considering to adopt a cat, you should definitely get in contact with both of those organisations and ask questions, as they really do care about the well-being of cats and want the best and find the best fit for you. one thing that I would like to note is that you really shouldn't adopt a cat from social media. I've seen a lot of this online while researching around my story, and the amount of cats you see being sold on Facebook Marketplace is insane. The cats on there don't have formal health checks. You don't know their ages, and you have so many other issues with that. So stick to organisations that you can trust if you want to adopt a cat. And if you want to report a cat, again, I'd recommend the RSPCA or Feline Friends.
Surprising there isn't any regulation on selling cats on Facebook Marketplace. Sounds
so living, breathing creature for that matter.
I mean, generally, I think that Meta and other sites are saying you shouldn't be selling any pets online, any people online, or anything living. Maybe like a tiresome houseplant in your corner. But other than that, definitely don't buy any cats online.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jade. That was a really interesting story. Who doesn't like talking about cats?
Yeah,
So that's all we have time for today. But I hope you enjoyed our winner podcast for this week. And yeah, bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.